All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the After 7 Garage podcast. I'm your host, Blake Harms.
I'm your co-host, Victor.
And we are excited to give you guys something different. Today, we've got a guest here that we are going to interview and let you get to know. Somebody special, somebody new. Let's go ahead and get into it. What do you think, Victor?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, so today we have our very first guest on the show, and I am so excited to share his story and who he is with our listeners. This is somebody that I've been friends with for a very, very long time, and I've watched him grow into such an amazing technician. He can fix anything you give him, and he works at one of the busiest and notorious repair shops in Cary. Welcome to the show, my best friend, Will Tyson.
What's up, everybody?
So happy to have you, man. What do you think, Victor? What's going on?
I'm excited. I'm ready to do it.
He's ready to do it. We've already recorded this several times, and we keep having some interruptions, but we're just going to dive into it no matter what. This is going to be raw, uncut, Will Tyson's interview.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Will. So I told them that I've known you for a long time. Where did we meet? Do you remember the very first time that we met?
Yeah. So it was back when Sonic used to be really cool. They had a meet there every Friday night. And
which Sonic?
The one off of Jones Franklin and Buck Jones.
That's right.
On the kind of Cary-Raleigh border.
This was years ago.
Yeah, this was like, 8 years?
2012 at least?
Yeah, so yeah, like 8 years ago.
Yeah, so what was it, Friday?
Yep, every Friday night.
Every Friday night, all the people of Raleigh in the local area would come by and bring their modified cars. Did you ever come, Victor?
I've been there quite a few times.
I can't believe we never ran into you.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
It's like cars, bikes, trucks, you name it, it's out there.
It was epic.
Yeah.
But, so, I think I was I standing by my car or you were standing by my car and I approached you?
Well, so I used to go to lunch every day and see your car. And it was a Honda S2000, my dream car at the time. I'd always stop. I took pictures of it one time, and I don't think you noticed. And so I saw you pull in and go park, and then you got out and started talking to everybody. So I walked over and started looking at it, and you just kind of turned to me like, hey, if you got any questions, just let me know.
Yeah, man. I saw this kid, like, no offense, I mean, you were what, 15, 16?
Yeah, I was
just
15.
Got your license.
Yeah, 15.
Not even, yeah.
Yeah. And so a little awkward for me because I was like, okay, I don't know you. I don't know much about cars at this time. And you just turned. We started talking. I asked you questions, and then we just kind of hit it off.
Right. And we hung out several times, and then Will eventually decided to step into the field of automotive, and he started working at a shop. What was the first shop you worked at?
Crossroads Auto Service.
And that's the place that I was working at on Walnut Street, right?
Yep.
That's where you saw?
I think you had just left, and then your position opened up, and you were like, well, hey, you knew the manager there, so you got me in on good word. Yeah.
I left there and went to Supreme Auto, and then you stepped in and went to Crossroads.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's so long ago. It's hard to just go back and remember all that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It is crazy. So you started off at a small shop, and then where did you go after that?
From there, I think I was there about a year. I worked my way up from just like oil changes and whatnot to some bigger stuff. And then I went with another tech over to Modern Service in downtown Cary.
Right. Modern Service is a huge, huge shop in Cary. If you guys aren't familiar, they're right on the corner of, was it Walker and
East Chatham Street.
East Chatham Street.
Pretty much Main Street.
You can't miss them.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen their shop, Victor?
I have not.
Okay, so I mean, they're like, what is it, old historic Cary? There's like an old school movie theater. They just revamped.
Oh yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah, the building was built in 1952. Been there pretty much before that, but Modern Service took over in 52, and it's been there ever since.
That's crazy.
That's a long standing. Yeah.
It's definitely a prominent shop in the area, and Will works there. And you've been there how long at Modern Service?
Almost coming up on 5 years now.
5 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be at one place. So you're pretty comfortable. You know the customers. You know the other technicians you work with.
Oh yeah, just about everybody knows me.
I'm sure Victor knows when I say when you work with technicians, you got to learn their personalities.
Yes.
Yeah, you really do.
You got to stay away from some people or keep some things from some people.
Yeah, if you hear something getting thrown, keep
Step
your
back.
distance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Step back if wrenches start flying.
Yep.
Yeah. The memes are true.
Yeah, the memes are true. So Will is, in my opinion, totally just excelled at a higher rate than anyone else. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't go to trade school to learn automotive, did you?
No, I was fresh out of high school and I barely made it through that. So
Just went right into it, started working on cars. He learned the old-fashioned way from experience and from other technicians.
oh yeah,
That's pretty similar to me.
Yeah, I mean, Victor, what do you think? I mean, the textbook or experience? I know you need a little bit of both, but
I take experience all day long.
just get in it.
Learn it from the old heads. Get as much information as you can.
Yes.
Soak it in and apply it.
yeah. I mean,
Yes.
old heads is how you learn the tricks.
Right.
You can't learn that in a book.
No.
That's true. One of the tricks that I learned from Old Head was when you're working on big trucks, set the lift under the vehicle and pick the vehicle up, and then take the front two wheels off and then lower it back down, and the back wheels will hit first, and then the front will start to dip down just until the rotors don't touch but barely hit the ground. Now you can not hurt your back, and you can reach over the engine bay and work on it.
It's a blessing to short people.
yeah.
Yes, it is. I'm
Especially
sure.
me.
Yeah. So you definitely learn a lot from the older technicians. But tell us some of your accomplishments. I mean, you're an early technician. You started out young. I would say you've overcame a lot of feats that all of us go through, like issues that you run into with fixing cars, being frustrated. Maybe you never could fix it, and then it came back and you did. I mean, give us some ideas of what you've been through.
Well, my first week at Modern, they said I had a career car because I was trying to prove that I could do some stuff electrically, and that just didn't happen.
Okay.
But then David stepped in and helped. He's like the electrical guru there.
Right.
And then that kind of painted the picture of just how much I had learned, and I wasn't quite ready to tackle that. But it was like a transmission range switch on a Jeep, and it was just a little over my head at that time.
So I mean, what did he do? He just help diagnose it or show you how to do it?
Yeah, he just like walked me through the steps, check this, check that.
Hell
this
yeah.
is bad. This doesn't check the way you want it. It's bad.
Yeah.
So
So my question for you.
Yeah.
I know everybody always has the one car that they're married to.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a car that you've been married to and cannot get rid of?
You're asking such a funny question because Will has owned more cars than I've known.
I'm talking about like customer car.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant like cars he's owned. Oh,
No.
you mean
no.
married to, like it just keeps coming
Like
back.
it keeps coming
and you
back
can't
with
let it go.
issues that you can't get rid of.
Oh,
Thankfully, not yet. I've had cars where the issues keep coming up as I'm working on them, and I got to tackle it as they come. But I haven't had one that's like, okay, I fixed this. Now it's coming back for, something related or totally different.
I don't know. I've had some cars haunt me. What about you, Victor?
I've had plenty.
Yeah.
I hate that. You just like, I mean, it depends. Sometimes they're like, now it's something new, or the same issue is just still there and they keep coming back to you.
I can tell you the worst thing you can ever see is lean codes.
Oh, with the engine
You will be-
running lean?
Yes, you will be married to a car if you see lean codes.
Because it's so broad. It could be so many different things.
There's
that could
like
cause that.
9 different things it can be, and you have to just pick at them and figure out which one's fixing it.
What's the hardest diagnosis you've done, Will? Like, has there been a car that's really stumped you? I know you just mentioned the range sensor, but I mean, is there another vehicle where it was just you and you really didn't want to reach out and you're like, I need to try to figure this out?
I might have to think on that. For a
Yeah, because
minute.
that's 5 years of several different vehicle fixes.
Yeah.
I mean, has there ever been like an engine tear down? Have you ever like rebuilt an engine, then it didn't run right, you have to tear it down again?
Thankfully, no.
Nice.
I've been fortunate enough to where I could dive into something pretty deep, like timing chain, valves and whatnot, and I haven't gotten stumped and stuck, with it either apart or back together and still have the same problem.
Must be nice.
Yeah, my fingers are crossed. I'm knocking on wood. You name it.
Dude, Victor, I'm telling you, Will is like the one like lucky duck, I guess you could say, out of technicians. I'm telling you, when like he's working on a car and repairing it, 9.5 out of 10 times it's fixed and there's really no comebacks. I mean, when I've seen Will work, he doesn't rush, but he's not slow, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he's very organized in the steps that he takes, and he doesn't skip a step. So that's why at the end it's correct.
That's what they tell me at my job. I have the most volume of cars,
Right.
but I don't work fast.
That's okay.
Yeah.
As
but,
long as you do it right, what's the point if you're going fast and you never fix it?
yeah.
So I've watched Will with my own 2 eyes. He definitely does quite a bit. I mean, he recently tackled something that I've never done. Now, I don't want to give it away because it's going to get into our future conversation, but he put camshafts in an engine in a vehicle he owns, and he put BC Brian Crowder cams
Yep. BC 264s.
in his vehicle. And I mean, that whole process of not just taking the valve cover off, that's 1 feat for a lot of people that don't work on cars. But to take the camshafts out of it and like retime it and make sure it runs, how was that experience? I know you were a little nervous.
I was, because if you don't torque the cams correctly in the correct order with the caps, you can break a cam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're very fragile.
So,
Yes.
I mean, Victor's been down that path. So I'm sitting next to 2 guys that have done this stuff, and I wanted to share with you guys people who do it. So, I mean, give me your opinion. If you were to tell somebody that's never put a camshaft in an engine, what would be your opinion on how to plan it out or how to attack it?
Get plenty of assembly lube, first off, because you can never have enough.
Okay, so you put that all over the camshaft before you stick it in?
Yep, that way you don't have it, metal on metal dry friction.
It's not dry, right?
Dry start, okay.
Yeah. And, like I said, you can never have too much. Just go over it a few times in your head. If they're videos, watch them.
Yeah.
And just make sure you got all your torque specs.
Yeah.
Any seal that you might need, go ahead and grab it. Even if you don't need it, you can return it.
While you're there, yeah,
Yeah.
might as well.
I mean, what's your opinion on that, Victor?
It's a very tedious process. You get any kind of knowledge you can before you decide to tackle a job that big.
Just obsess over it. Make it
And
homework.
And be careful. Like, just to the T, take your time.
Right.